Eastern PA with Authority Meteorologist Bobby Martrich here with your outlook for January 25th, 2016. And this is the first video we're doing after this big winter storm that we had here, big blizzard that we had over our coverage area here. So many of you are still digging out some very, very impressive totals that came in with this. And we had some a couple 30 plus readings out here in the Harrisburg area. It had I believe the Harrisburg was at a little over 30. York had a 31.5 down here. Allentown had a 31.9 out of this. 22 inches here in Philadelphia. So with some very impressive totals with this snow event. But now we have a snowpack on the ground. So all with the exception of parts of northeastern PA, the areas I'm circling here are all within our coverage area. Anyway, this is all under a snowpack here. So because of that, the models are not able to project snow cover on the ground when they run these when they have their model runs here. So since the apps that you have on your phone, they're run off a computer model, they might know they come from the Weather Channel, whoever might be the provider for it, but they run off a particular model. And those models are going to be a little bit high this week in temperatures in those areas I circled. And the reason why is you have the sun's going to be out, and of course shining down on the snow that's on the ground there. A lot of that light is going to be reflected. That's why it's a good idea to wear glasses, because it seems so bright. That's because of the light you're getting from top and bottom here, so you're going to get it reflected. So a lot of that gets reflected back into space, and then you have you do a little melting you have going on from the sun hitting the snow will then cause an evaporational cooling effect. So just above the surface, you'll have like an insulated layer there, where it's kind of like best way I can explain it is if you're maybe you're having a picnic in the summertime and it's 90 degrees out, and you have a cooler full of sodas, your favorite beverage, whatever is in the cooler, and as soon as you open it up, you don't even have to touch the ice. Just above the surface of the ice, you can feel the cooling. That's the same idea. So even though it's hot outside, it still stays cold in the cooler, and just above the surface, without even touching the ice, you get that rush of cold air. That's going to be the same thing we're going to happen in the next couple days. So we will see our forecast, our local forecast will have temperatures lower for much of this upcoming week where those areas have the heavy snowpack. So going forward here, we're not going to have much of today, just a mix of sun and clouds. And again, we want lower temperatures. But here's the next system of the cold front that's going to be approaching here. This is going to be cutting up into the lakes here. This is going to be a synoptically driven warmth here on Wednesday. So we'll have a day that gets, it will get close to 40 degrees here in Philadelphia. It'll be a little bit lower up here. We're going to have to watch, though. I don't think there's going to be any issues with icing because this is coming in during the day. And again, this is just some very light stuff here, very isolated shower that'll move through here. But we'll have to watch. It could be a rain/snow shower. So we're not just going to chalk that up to as just being a rain shower either. You can even see the models hitting at that right here at the end. This is the overnight hours here on Tuesday night. But either way, this is going to be a very slow-moving front to move out, and temperatures will be lower, so we'll just keep an eye on it, especially for northern areas. But I don't think it's a big deal either way. Both Wednesday and Thursday will look dry, and then we're going to take our attention to the end of the week here. Now, this is the GFS model we're using in the video here. GFS is a miss. This coastal system is what we're watching. GFS is a miss, just takes it out in this direction. The European model, at least the one we saw before this video was recorded, the last one we saw, took this up here in this direction and has very strong ensemble support to have a low sitting right out here somewhere. If that's the case, you could have a snow event here in our coverage area once again. So, then we're not 100% sold on this idea, obviously, but a lot of people will say, well, the European model didn't do so well in the last storm. Well, maybe not to the surface and what reflected the surface in those snow maps. And I realize that not everybody knows how to read an upper air map, but the upper air maps actually work pretty good for the European model in the last storm. So it didn't really get it wrong. I think it was better than the GFS, better than the Canadian was. The European model is actually second to the NAM as far as being a loft, but the whole idea with the last storm here, it still had a low pressure that came here, kicked it east here, with which it did eventually happen also. We just had some issues with how far northwest the precipitation would extend, and the European model didn't do all that bad. It's not as bad as a rap as it was given in the last storm, but so. The fact that it's showing something has very strong ensemble support at least has their attention to pay attention to the Thursday night and Friday time period, because we could be dealing with some snow depending on how far west that comes. It could be something that just affects Jersey and Delaware as well, just our far eastern sections. I think more that would be the more likely scenario would just be the far eastern sections, either maybe extreme eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, or just New Jersey and Delaware coastal areas. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But it is important to note that the GFS and Canadian do take this out to sea right now. But it might be doing something aloft that doesn't make total sense. So we just don't want to dismiss it just yet. Just stay tuned to the Facebook page during the day for updates, and we'll give them to you as soon as we get them. Right now it says keep your eyes open and keep this in your back of your mind. I know for one myself, I don't want any more snow in this area, because I am right here in South Allentown with 32 inches, and I had enough digging out for a while. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is your outlook for January 25th, 2016. Have a great Monday.